Mike Owens here. Today I'm joined by Charles Johnson, who was victorious Saturday night UFC St. Louis, one of the biggest fights and wins of his career. Charles, great to sit down and chat. How are things with you today?
What's up, baby? How we doing?
I'm very well. We're a couple of days removed from, as I say, one of the biggest wins of your career. How were emotions and how was the experience fighting back at home?
Uh, Man, it was great, brother. I'm looking at this record here. 15,960, highest grossing US fight night of all time. St. Louis showed up, man, and it was a great night. G Squad showed up, Scully Gang, it was live. We were second fight, but it was already full in there. So everybody showed up for your boy, and I showed up for myself, and it was a great night.
Brendan Fitzgerald, I think it was, mentioned on the broadcast that this is the second time the UFC's been to St. Louis. And the first time they came to St. Louis, you were in the stands watching that card. So what was that experience like going from your first experience of watching the UFC at home, then fighting in a sold out arena at home?
Well, at the time I was 5-0, and I fought a week later and became 6-0 against Mark Tom Vaughn, and submitted him with an anaconda choke. And I had used that energy from that fight week to go into my fight week. At the time I was young, and all I could see was like myself being in the UFC, and to finally get the opportunity to be in the UFC after years of feeling like I deserve to be in there, and I should be in there. I feel like it took a lot longer for me to get in there than it should have, but now that I'm here, I've tried to be the most active and just embrace it as long as I can, as long as I have left. I think I have about 3-4 years left in here, and so I'm trying to make the most of it with every fight.
Your activity's been crazy, Charles. I think that was your eighth fight in just over 2 years with the promotion. I mean, how have you been able to keep so active, and do you feel like fighting so regularly? Is that a benefit for you personally?
I've been able to stay active because I haven't been ranked, because the ranked guys don't fight, right? So, part of that is that, and then the second thing to that is taking fights in the Apex. People don't want to fight there, and I don't really want to fight there anymore now. But I took a lot of fights in the Apex, about 6 or 7. So, it was just taking chances on myself, fighting Ode Osborne on 9 days, coming from Thailand to Vegas, his home where he lives and trains, taking chances on myself. A fight I thought I won, but judges didn't give it to me. I fought Jimmy Flick on short notice. I wasn't supposed to fight him. I fought him on 4 or 5 weeks notice, um, out of camp. And so um, just believing in myself, and then just putting my standing by my words, man. I'm always training, I'm always working, and I'm always pushing for a fight. I love to fight. That's what I love to do. So if I want to be here fighting for a championship, pursuing a championship till I get there, I'm gonna keep my foot on their necks.
I love it. Let's talk about Saturday night. As I mentioned, one of the biggest wins of your career over a rising prospect themselves and a man from my side of the world in Jake Hadley. How do you assess the fight and your performance more specifically?
I feel like it was a really good fight. I don't think Jake did anything particularly bad or wrong. I think I was just a little bit faster than him. And it was my night. Um, and I think in order for him to have success, he would have had to take more risks that would have put him in danger of getting hurt again. And so he chose to fight how he chose to fight to mitigate those risks. And feel like I won the fight on the feet when I started, and my engine up, and I got going towards the last minute and a half of the first round, and thereon I felt like I dictated everything on the feet and stopped all the takedowns because he was trying, man. But I told my coach during camp, I said he's gonna come to wrestle, man, because once I touch him, because I know I'm gonna touch him, that I think he's gonna come with a different game plan and try to get me down, try to implement some of his jujitsu that he's really well known for, his top power pressure top game. So we were prepared for it, and I'm glad that all my preparations was able to be put into use.
Second round, as you mentioned there, you felt like there was definitely a turning of the tide between the first and the second, and then you get that massive knockdown towards the end of the second round. How close were you to the finish, did you feel? Because it did feel like Jake was all there. It didn't feel like he was completely out of it. How close do you think you were to getting that stoppage?
I don't think I was anywhere stopping him there. I think that it was just a flash knockdown.
Mm,
I think as soon as his butt hit, he was back aware. Similar to my fight with Azat. It was
mm.
just a good punch. That landed clean and he didn't see it. And I split his guard. His arm was coming up and I just split him and he couldn't see it. So that flash knockdown and but his eyes were on me as soon as he hit the mat. And so I couldn't tell if how hurt he was. So I tried to get into his guard a little bit and touch him, but then he immediately started going up to his grappling, so I knew that it was still a fight from there. But the damage had been done, round had been won at that point. So um, I was hoping that he tried to keep standing, but he made a business decision. That's what it is.
How confident were you when you were standing there and the referees got hold of one of your hands and they say 29-28? I think it was on all three judges' scorecards. Were you confident that you'd done enough, or was there anything in the back of your mind thinking that it could go the other way?
I was 70-30 because you just never know, man.
Mm.
That's just the nature of our game, our sport. You never know what they're looking at. I knew that I dictated everything. I knew I was up on the numbers. I knew I stopped all the takedowns. I knew I had all the big moments. And so I didn't feel like he won that fight. And I don't think anyone else felt like when you think about the fight, he won it. So, and I don't think he really could refute it, but he's a winner, so he may have felt like he won. He did enough. But I think when he goes back and watches, he'll see opportunities where he could have really put his stamp on a round and really felt like he won. Maybe complete a takedown, maybe land a significant strike, or just take more risks. But for me, I felt like I did everything I needed to do.
And then I saw you post on Instagram a couple of days after, where you mentioned you wanted to rank guy next. I think you posted number 12, number 13, and number 14 ranked guys. Do you have an ideal of who you would like to fight next and kind of a return date? I mean, I know that activity's always been a key throughout your career. So when would you like to return, and in an ideal world, who would be next?
I want to fight June 29th and fight week. They only got 10 fights right now. So
Mm.
if they can squeeze me on there anywhere, I don't give a fuck. I'll open the card, get my day started early. I don't mind it. That's a hell of an opportunity and a fight card to fight on with Conor McGregor. And then I would just love that opportunity, man. I'll be extremely happy for that. If I'm not able to do that, then I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna train hard and wait for somebody to pull out and just stay ready and hopefully try to schedule something for August, um, maybe September. The Sphere is a long shot. I know everybody's gonna be asking for that, but
Mm.
I really want to go International Fight Week, put a stamp on myself and get a lot of people excited about me so I can really push for the Sphere in September. And a great matchup, a ranked opponent where they will be excited about putting me on like a main card, whether I'm the last fight on the prelims or I'm the first fight on the main card there. Regardless, I think that I could really put a stamp on that. Depending on if the Joshua Van versus Tagir fight happens, if they make it to the fight, I might take the winner of that. I feel like I match up really well against both of those guys. Tagir gets hit a lot, and Van doesn't have great wrestling, and so that's a oil and water matchup that's going to be very fun to watch and see who's able to implement their game. And so I'm looking at that fight very closely as far as ranking goes. Um, and so it's just I got to be patient, man, and stay consistent. My body feels good. Minor fight things, but other than that, in a week or two, my body will feel ready to fire again. So I'm trying to get two peaks out of my camp, get two fights out of my last camp. I had a really good camp, so just peak again and get another quick fight in 5 or 6 weeks on June 29th. I really want that. And so I've been hopefully we get matched now, man. I think he's a Midwest boy. I fuck with him. I like him a lot. I think he's really fucking good, a lot better than people think. And I just really want an opportunity to fight for a ranking, man. And it's all respect in the world. I'm fighting for my family, and um, I just want the opportunities, man, that I feel like I'm afforded.
We've just seen a massive fight booked for your division yesterday. Muhammad Mokaev, a former opponent of yours, going up against Manel Kape. How do you see that fight playing out, and who do you think will come out victorious at 304?
I don't know who will win that fight. I've gone a lot of sparring rounds with Manel Kape in 2021, right out of COVID when he was making his merger into the UFC. So I know his hand speed and I know his game, and he's gotten better. Um, and he has parts of his game that he hasn't really shown that I know is there, and so it's very intriguing. And then Muhammad, obviously, he's young and he just can keep getting better. I think the key to Muhammad is just to continue getting being confident, um, and do what he's doing. Like tune out everyone else. Habib was able to grapple everyone and get to where he needs to do and continue to do that. People hated him, and then they loved him. So he keeps winning. Tune out everyone. Just keep winning. You know, um, Stay positive and just keep working for the goal that you set for yourself initially. Um, because people are gonna have their opinions. Nobody cares if it's boring. If you're winning, just win, brother. And look at Bilal, look at Khabib, look at they said the same thing about Islam. They said the same thing about Sarukian. They said, like your time's gonna come, and so just make the most of it.
100% wise words. We've obviously just seen the title up for grabs in your division at 301. Pantoja getting the win over Steve Erceg. What did you make of that fight? And did Steve Erceg exceed your expectations, or did you feel like he was on the level that he showed that night?
I thought Erceg would have been able to clip him. I think Erceg just really lost the fight in the last round. He just didn't. He just engaged in the grappling. At that point, you got to know that Pantoja is gonna go to grapple to solidify the round, and it's 2-2. And you have to do everything in your power not to re-engage and to keep the fight where you're winning and where you're being really successful. I feel like Erceg had every opportunity, and it's just an experience thing. Um, he's gonna have other great fights, but the thing about this division is, when you get your opportunity, you gotta take it because everybody's good, the unranked guys and the ranked guys, and somebody else is gonna get that opportunity. It's gonna be a tougher matchup for you, And next, you might lose to this guy, and then it's going to be another year and a half, 2 years before you get another chance. And so he's ranked number 9 now. He has all the opportunity to continue to
Mm.
get back there, but now all those guys above him are going to get opportunities. So he's got to really do a lot to get back there. Um, he got an opportunity, and I think he made the most of it. I think he made the most of it. It's just a fight, man, and he'll be back.
Couple more from me, and a little bit earlier you mentioned fighting on the undercard of a superstar in Conor McGregor. You fought on or technically the undercard or the co-main of your card was your training partner Joaquin Buckley, who's become this overnight sensation in terms of people just seem to have really taken to Joaquin over the last 12-month period. What was your reaction to his massive win over Ruzaboyev, and what did it mean to share the cards with? I know as a close teammate of yours.
Yeah, that's like my brother, man, and I'm just happy for his success. And just constantly, tell him just continue to pursue everything that you want out of this game. Stay healthy and tune out the noise. Be you, whatever that's gonna be, whatever version that's gonna be you, and just go for it, brother. Like he knows the timeline just like I do. We got big lofty goals, and so it was amazing. I thought he put on a flawless performance. It wasn't anything I was surprised by. He did everything I knew he could do, um, and I was very happy for him. And it was a special moment that we both had spoke about, a
Mm.
couple years ago, fighting on the same card, and here we are. We did it. Everything we've talked about has happened. Only thing left is to chase titles, And what'd be great is like he's ranked 11th right now. If I do get this match now fighting, I am able to go in there and put on a great performance and walk away with the win. We both would be ranked number 11 in the UFC at the same time, with everything in front of us and all the momentum in the city behind us. Two young guys, YouTube learners. They grinded it out up through the hood of St. Louis and the streets of St. Louis, and figuring out how to get to practices, figuring out how to get across to the places we needed to learn, and then fighting across the world. Me in Thailand, him in Abu Dhabi, uh, in the biggest promotion in the world. It's just amazing. It's an amazing story, and I'm man, it's not like I'm surprised by anything. I'm just for me, it's about like, man, I'm realizing that just everything, how much power I hold, everything I speak comes to fruition, and whatever I put my energy into, it's coming, it happens. And so I'm just being mindful of what I'm asking for right now and what I'm doing, and then keeping my team close. So it's an exciting time for everybody. I'm carrying that love, that respect, but like I said, these dudes can't fuck with me, and I know that over 5 rounds. And it's about figuring out these 3 rounders, this 3 round format, and I feel like I'm doing better each time I step in there and stand on top of my work, my schedule. So I'm excited, man. We got some big things ahead. I've been talking with my manager about some cross training opportunities. You might be able to go to Hawaii soon, or head back down to Fusion XL in Orlando and train with those guys. So I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna be in Newark, New Jersey, in about a week and a half to cheer on my brother Phil Rowe as he go in there and catch a body, and so it's just a good time right now.
You like the DC fight for Buck next? What are your opinions on that one?
The biggest thing is I know Buck can be a little confusing with his words, and he's very animated, but he he's just like me. We don't like when people mix up our words, man.
Mm,
Like what he said was your mama raised a hoe. He didn't say your mama was a hoe,
mm,
And so it's the words getting twisted is what he's most pissed off about, and it ain't the first time that DC has twisted someone's word or not really understood exactly what someone said, and
mm,
and created a narrative and went with it.
yeah,
And so that's the frustration mostly from Buck I see. And with me, it's just like, the energy you put out, you're gonna receive back. So you just got to be mindful of that, man. If you're gonna be the asshole, you're gonna get assholery back.
yeah.
If you're gonna be the person that's ruffling feathers, they're gonna try to ruffle yours too. So just be mindful of that energy that's gonna come back around, and be ready for it, and have your shields ready, your armor ready, and be ready to attack everything the way you need to. And he's good, man.
Mm,
It ain't nothing but a cookout shit talking. You know what I'm saying? It
mm,
ain't nothing. It ain't nothing we don't see at the cookout. So
mm.
we gonna be good.
Well, I'm catching up with Buck next week, so I look forward to that. But it was great to catch
Yeah,
up with you today, Charles. I really
yeah,
congratulations on the win last Saturday. Great performance. Even better to see you do that in your hometown. And I look forward to
yeah,
seeing the
yeah,
next one, my friend.
yeah. Hey, while you at it, you gotta make sure you go get you one of these bad boys. I'm gonna have more coming out, man, for different events and stuff. So this was the St. Louis one I designed, and with my boy Average Joe Art. Um, he's the man. He's done a lot of different collabs with fighters and stuff. He does some amazing work, and so we collabed on that. And so like Octagon Selects that shop, go find yours, baby. And man, it's an exciting time.